looking out upon these rolling fields, I think about the failed attempt to break this farmer's will. Through all these years of hard work, I've come to understand it takes more than just fertile ground to grow tobacco plants. Yeah, it takes more than just fertile ground to grow tobacco plants.
That is Nate Lee, and that is Tobacco. And we are going to go back to Nate Lee on Skype here in just a few seconds. And Tobacco is the latest from Nate Lee, and we've got him back here joining us here on the old Skype, the old Skype-a-rooney. And so tell me about the production process for that song that we just played, Tobacco.
So Tobacco was featured the Becky Buller band. You know, we had the core band of Wyatt Rice, Todd Phillips, Ned Luberecki, and Bronwyn Keith-Hynes, but I play mandolin with the Becky Buller band, and Ned Luberecki is our banjo player, and Dan Boner, who produced the album, is also the guitar player in the band. And I really wanted to do some recording with the Becky Buller band in this album, and this one matches that band perfectly. You know, it's what we call a mash grass groove, and that band can play a really good mash groove. But also, I really wanted Becky's strong vocal on there, and it was impressive watching her work in the studio. She's an incredible lead singer, but she's also a very skilled harmony singer. She sings it exactly like you. So it was really fun. It was also, you know, Dan engineered it as well as producing. So he was using a remote control for a lot of it to start the recording and stop it because he was playing guitar at the same time. So it was really exciting to play this song with them.
That is pretty damn cool. We have got a great guest with us today. Nate Lee joins us here on our broadcast. And he is tremendous, and he's got a brand new collection of music, Wings of Jetliner, and you can get this track we just played, Tobacco, on there as well. And you can also find the website, thenatelee.com. He's also on Facebook and Twitter, Instagram as well. And for teaching information, you can go to playnate.com. ly.com. So tell us about that website. Are you teaching folks? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, so when I'm not on the road, I teach about 25, 30 students a week. I teach people all the way from the first time they've played an instrument to all the way to coaching professionals through their professional gig. And when I was young, they used to call me, and they still do, they called me the human adverb because my name, Nate Lee, sounds like an adverb. So they'd say, there goes Nate Lee. He went along nately and with great courage. So I named the... I know. I hang out with goofy folks. So I named the business Play Nately because it's just something I liked.
That's
and I
pretty cool.
teach people to play in a nately way. And I'm happy to show any of your listeners the way to play music and have fun with it.
So you mentioned earlier that one of the things that you did when you first got into to music is you had a really cool music teacher, and they were able to teach you how to do music and how to do all the various things. What are some of the things that you learned from them that you've passed on to your other students?
Well, the number one thing is enjoying music. You know, if you're not going to enjoy it, there's very little point in doing it. You know, you better have some other really good reason for it. So I always teach my students to really enjoy playing music, you know, how much fun it can be. It's not, people tend to think of learning music as sitting at a music stand with a timer set and just being super bored until the alarm goes off, and that's not how it should be. So I do that for the beginners, but everyone should have 3 teachers. The one I just described teaches you how to have fun. The second one teaches you how to play, how to actually do things. And the third one is more of a coach or a guide that says, why don't you try this or that in your music? And I do all 3 of those for different students. So it depends on what somebody shows up with. I help them get to where they need to go.
Awesome. Nate Lee with us today. He joins us live here on our broadcast. Wings of a Jetliner is the latest from him. And we are going to play another track here. Talk to me a little bit about one of your favorite tracks on the album, because I want to feature that next. What are one of your favorites on the album?
Oh, it is so hard to choose. But one of my favorites that I just goes way back with me is the song number 3, "Quick Select." When I was in, you were asking about coming up through music and what I learned and where I learned it. My college professor, Dr. Germany, taught me a lot about composing, and "Quick Select" is one that started as a song that I had to write as an assignment in class, and then later I
Awesome.
rewrote it. Last year I rewrote it, and it's pretty special to me.
Well, here we go. We are going to play Quick Select, and we'll be back with more from Nate Lee here in just a few moments. And it is Quick Select, and it's right now here on our big broadcast. Nate Lee. That is one of his favorite tracks on the album. We are going to go back to Mr. Nate Lee and join him here on the old Skype, the old Skype-a-rooney. And Nate Lee, of course, is releasing Wings of a Jetliner coming up in June, and we're going to play the first single at the end of the broadcast. But Nate, what are some of your goals for this collection of music, my friend?
Well, the number one goal was archiving the things I've worked on, the things that are important to me in music. And the second goal is that I really hope people put Wings of the Jetliner on in their car or maybe in their workplace while they're just trying to have a good time and drive somewhere or do something. And when I'm working on a project or I want to drive somewhere, I turn on certain CDs, and I hope this is one of those for other people.
That's awesome. We have got Nate Lee with us today. He joins us live here in a broadcast. So talk to me about the writing process and the production process of putting this whole thing together for you.
Well, the writing process, I wrote all the instrumentals, and then all the songs with lyrics came from friends of mine and people I ran into along the way. And so writing the instrumentals, I just sit and doodle. For instance, Serenity track 5, I just kind of sat there with my mandolin. I came up with the groove and
Awesome.
started doodling and then humming and just, I kind of do it that way. And then as I play the song, I wait for something to pop in my head, and that is the name of it. Whatever pops into my head, I name it. So the production process was a little more detailed and very much driven by producer Dan Boner. We spent several sessions putting together arrangements, and then we just went in and played it. The band is fantastic. They didn't need much rehearsal.
That's awesome. So you mentioned earlier that you had the producer was playing on the album, and he controlled everything via remote control. Tell me about this, because I've never heard this before.
So
This
I
is
didn't
amazing.
know this existed either, and I didn't get to see him do it because he was in an ISO booth. We had one ISO booth, and he put himself in that one. Everyone else was in a big room. And so I don't even know what it looks like. So I imagine it was on his smartphone, but I don't even know. And then at one point, the Becky Buller band's sound tech stopped by just to hang out, and he ended up taking over at the soundboard so Dan could just think about playing guitar.
That's awesome. We have got a great guest with us today. Nate Lee joins us here in our broadcast, and he is amazing. He joins us today here in our broadcast. And I guess before we get to the single, would you be able to do a little, a live song here for us, or is that not possible with your setup there?
Absolutely, I could do a live song for you.
Awesome.
My mandolin's never far away. I even mostly got it in tune. So, yes, definitely. Would you like me to go ahead?
Yes, go ahead. What do you have for us here?
All right, so I'm going to give you a solo rendering of track 1. It's called Wonder Bat, and it's named after this mandolin, which is named Wonder Bat, which is named after Homer Simpson's baseball bat. So here goes, Wonder Bat.
Here we go. Wow.
I fell off, but I got back on.
I think that's awesome. We have got a great guest with us today. He joins us live in our broadcast. Nate Lee is with us. So tell me about your social media following and some of the different things that you do on social media with your music.
Well, my favorite thing on social media is my student and learning group called Play Well, Play Nately. That's Nately. And it's where me and my students and some of my friends, we just talk about music. So that's one of my favorite things, is just going there and teaching people stuff, learning things. But I also spend a great deal of time with Facebook sharing music, and I'm especially liking right now seeing all these live streams, just seeing all these fantastic musicians live streaming. And I've done a little bit of that myself. I've got one coming up next week, so keep an eye on my Facebook.
Awesome. Well, we are going to play the single here, Love Medicine. Before we wrap up the interview here with you, my friend, tell me about this single, why you decided to make this the first single.
Sure. So my great friend Chris Sanders wrote Love Medicine, and normally she records all her own stuff. And I said, hey, if you've got any songs you'd like to send me, I'd really like to record one. So she sent me this one, and I really liked it. She's a master of chord progressions, and it's got really interesting chord progressions, major seventh chords and things like that. And I chose Love Medicine as the first single because it has the bluegrass side to it. It's got bluegrass groove, but it also has the jazzy side. And it has vocals, and it has quite a bit of instrumental soloing from all the different core pickers in the core band, and I really wanted to feature them as well as feature as many aspects of the project as I could in one song, and Love Medicine was that.
Awesome. Well, we're going to play that. I appreciate you being with us. Thanks for joining us. And you can pick up Nate Lee's independently releases Wings of a Jetliner. It's coming out in June, and the first single is coming up here in our program, and you can buy this on all the different digital platforms. And Nate, I appreciate you making time. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you for having me. It's fun.
Definitely. There he goes, Mr. Nate Lee, and we are going to go to his single "Wings of a Jetliner" is the track, is the collection of tracks. The first single, "Love Medicine." He is going to join us with "Love Medicine," and it's right now here on your big broadcast.
Draw the line, close the door, ain't gonna cross that threshold no more. Life gets hard and we get better. Let me out, let me in, only the devil knows where I have been. Life gets hard and we get better. Hard and we get better. See of fear, see of doubt, then love returned and brought me out. Life is hard and we get better. Circle draws around with all my relations. Love medicine, how sweet the sound. Love medicine, bring me home. Love medicine, bring me home. Draw the line, close the door, ain't gonna cross that threshold no more.
That is Love Medicine. And it is Nate Lee. Wrapping things up today here on our big program with the great Nate Lee. Go pick up his music. It's available on iTunes and Spotify right now. We will see you next time here on KJAGradio.com.